Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different to something that I normally do. Today's video is the Q&A that I said I would do once I get 1,000 subscribers. So as you can see there, we have 1,000 subscribers now, which is fantastic, really. Again, I'm not really in this. I'm not really putting videos and stuff on YouTube to get subscribers or anything like that. As you probably noticed, I don't beg for likes. I don't even advertise likes or anything like that. Throughout my videos, if you like it, you like it. And, there's nothing more I can do about it. Begging for likes is not going to change that. So what I said I will do, I said in the last video that I would give away some stuff for people that get questions, for ask me questions, and that I read out in the video. So there's quite a lot of questions I've been asked. So I'm going to run through all these now and answer as many as I can. And then we'll announce the winners at the end of it, okay? So I'll just crack on here now. So the first question, how long have you been making synthwave and music overall? So synthwave has been about maybe 2 or 3 years now. Music overall probably been about 15. I started off making what's called, it's a UK genre called Scouse House. It's like a club landing, more like a hands up sort of German sort of style. That's what I started off making music. So what amazing synths do you use the most? Sylenth. I always use Sylenth on all my tracks. Absolutely love Sylenth. So that'll be the synth that I use the most. So how can I get more dynamic sounds? Okay. So we'll look at this in a video. So how can I get more dynamics sounds, adding effects and automated clips with phasers, EQ, other filters and stuff like that, just to make the song sound different. I will do that on another video, an upcoming video. I touched briefly on the basic EQ video. If you watch that, there is a little bit in there about how to use a filter sweep, an EQ sweep to get the pads and stuff moving. So I will certainly look into that. An upper synthwave is specific darkness. Yeah, there is different types of synthwave and 80s music as well, and I'll certainly look at making upbeat and tempo stuff. I have done different videos like how to make summer synthwave. I've got how to make chill synthwave, and I'm also working on how to make dark synth. But I will also show you how to make sort of 80s pop, sort of upright and tempo as well. So that will be coming up as well. And how do you get the drum and stuff? I'll look into that as well. I can't really show you now because that'll be involving me making a full track, but I will certainly use these in future videos. What keeps you motivated to make music? Well, part of my full-time job is making music, so sometimes it's very difficult to stay motivated, and sometimes I'll go weeks without making music, and then I'll hear a song or I'll hear something that'll get me back into making music. So that's it really. So what are the main pitfalls, mistakes you see in starter songs from inspiring producers? So I see they're too keen to put the stuff out there, too keen to upload the stuff. Always go back and work on your stuff and always compare stuff. I see people just putting songs out there that aren't in key. That's a really, really rookie mistake if a song's not in key, because of the fact that you should be listening. You should be able to hear that. You can certainly learn technical stuff and inspirational stuff, but if you can't hear it, your song's not in key, then obviously music's probably not for you. So that's one of the things I see quite a lot. So when do you plan? So do you plan on a full album? Sometimes I'll have an idea. Sometimes I'll make a few songs. Sometimes what I'll do a lot is when I'm just messing around is I'll write little tiny songs, maybe a riff or even drums, and I'll leave them in a folder. And then sometimes I'll go back to it and pull one out and change it, or sometimes I'll have a full song finished and then restart it. But I don't really have like a set way to start songs and sounds as well. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 songs on an album that sound very, very similar. I just split them up, so I'll one track at the beginning, one at the middle, and one at the end. Or I'll even hold one back for another album rather than release them together. How to make a good synthwave intro. Good synthwave intro is start off minimal and build your stuff up. So start off with pads, or just a filtering bass line, or your ARP. Just one thing to start off with, and then slowly add stuff into it. And that builds up. If you go with everything, it can sometimes be quite confusing. So Have you used? No, I've never used hardware at all. Probably just because I can't be bothered setting it all up. As synthwaves, a lot of the stuff you get now as software, soft synth is very, very good, and I've just never really been into hardware. Which synthwave artist inspired you the most? Miami Nights 84. Absolutely love Miami Nights 84. I used to like certain songs synthwave, but I didn't know synthwave was a genre. And then I downloaded a game for my phone, and I think it might have been Burnout, and one of the songs on there was Miami Nights 84, and I just thought to myself, that is a great song, so I googled them, and then just discovered synthwave that way. I just couldn't believe it, that there's a whole genre out there making this sort of music, and that's what actually got me into synthwave. But Miami Nights 84, absolutely love Miami Nights 84. Making synthwave in 5 years' time. Certainly not a phase. It's something that I've always enjoyed from listening to when I was a kid. So I'll hopefully make it go. I know genres. There's certain genres of phases, and it dies out. But I don't think synthwave will. I think there'll always be a market there for synthwave. It might evolve. It might evolve quite a lot into something different. But I definitely think I'll be involved in synthwave. Okay, next question here. Saxophones in synthwave. I don't really use saxophones in synthwave. Contact Library will be pretty good. You can get some out of Nexus. There's some pretty good sounds in Nexus, and there's also some decent sounds in the Expand 2. So if you go back into my top five top VSTs for synthwave, look at the Expand 2. You can get some great sound sax in there. Again, I'll have to look at this in another video. I'll certainly look at saxophones in a separate sort of synthwave sessions video as well, to look at arrangements and notes and stuff like that. Yeah, but note length and arrangements are definitely key. If you look at, for example, a dance song, Infinity by the Guru Josh Project, just use that as an example. Look at the note lengths and why have they chosen them note lengths. Some notes are shorter than others, but that definitely does make a difference. How long does it take to one synthwave track to be ready? Sometimes I can do it straight away in a day. Sometimes it's always worth going back. Sometimes it'll be quite long, and it can take months for me to actually get around to finishing it. But if you've got an idea, just keep going with it until you've got everything down that you can. And then if you're stuck, leave it and come back to it. That's some of the things that I do. What breakfast is best for making synthwave? I have no idea. Pancakes. Any synthwave acts? No, I've never seen any synthwave live. I live in Northern Ireland. I grew up in England, the middle part of England. There's not a lot of synthwave around. Like I said, I didn't really discover synthwave till about 3 years ago. That's when I actually discovered synthwave. So how do you go about starting a track when you don't have a melody in mind? Drums, I will start with drums, or pads, chords. So you can start with either a melody, you can start with chords, or you can start with your drums. So if I don't have a melody, I'll start with chords and then maybe drums, or sometimes I'll start with drums and then build the chords around that. What's your favourite piece of hardware gear? I don't really have any hardware gear, at all, so I won't be able to answer that one. What's your favourite meal to eat? Probably McDonald's. I shouldn't really be eating McDonald's much, but you can't beat a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. If synthwave was a rare type of cheese, what kind of cheese would it be and why? I don't like cheese, so I wouldn't be able to answer that one, and I can't stand the smell of cheese. Saying that, I love pizza and I love cheese on my Big Mac, but don't know, weird. If money was no object, which synth would you get? To be honest, I don't really look at hardware synths at all, so I wouldn't really be able to answer that. If you're talking soft synths, I would probably go for. I'll probably buy all the Nexus bundles, or even the new Nexus Avenger VST that's out. Nexus makes some great stuff. The company in general, the Vengeance sound packs and everything is fantastic, especially for dance music as well, which is something that I do as well. So if you could work on a soundtrack of any movie, TV show, video game, what would it be? Any genre from any era? Movies. Well, I used to like the He-Man. I like He-Man. I mean, that's synthwave, likes of He-Man and Knight Rider and Rocky and stuff like that would definitely be some of the stuff that I would like to have worked on. What keeps you interested in making synthwave? Tiresome of the genre? Sometimes, well, for me, I don't really get tiresome of it because a lot of the work that synthwave is a hobby for me. Dance music is what I actually make, what I get paid for. I'm going to show you some of my tracks and stuff later on that I've worked on. And that is actually what I get paid for. So synthwave is a break for me, so I'm not always constantly working on synthwave. I work in many different genres as well. So synthwave is, if I get bored of synthwave, I'll go back and work on some EDM or some tropical house or deep house or something like that, and then I'll come back to synthwave. Question: Do you think pop musicians could focus on a synthwave style of music in the future, just like? So do you think pop musicians could focus on a synthwave style of music in the future, just like they do with other subgenres like tropical house? Well, listening back, if you listen to the new Katy Perry song and listen to one of the last Weekend songs, if you listen to the chords sound very synthwavy. They have a very sort of retro feel, and even one of the Carly Rae Jepsen tracks as well does sound very sort of old and synthwavy. So I think it could creep in once it gets to become a genre that people's recognising. You'll definitely get some people jumping on there and making some synthwave tracks, especially with the Stranger Things theme going really big. And on the back of that Stranger Things, you had the likes of the Katy Perry stuff that's coming out now that has very synthwave chords. So yeah, I definitely think it could be there. If you had the money to buy any music related product, what would it be and why? I will probably buy some new speakers. I don't really produce on speakers a lot, but the NS10 speakers are very good for making music, so I'll probably buy those. What is synthwave for you? Why do you choose this genre? What are your feelings? Feelings I don't really have. It's just listening to the music, listening to the chords, and they sound good. Synthwave for me, if someone said to me what is synthwave, I would sort of go along the lines of, I would pick tracks and name tracks. I would sort of say likes of Knight Rider theme, Rocky theme, He-Man theme, and Blade Runner. That sort of synthwave stuff to me. It's the chords and the sounds that make up the genre myself. My favourite synthwave track is anything by Miami Nights. Absolutely love Miami Nights. Would be my favourite synthwave track. My favourite, if you're looking at it as like all together, I will probably say the Montage song from Rocky. That's a fantastic track. So why you love synthwave? I love synthwave. I'm not sure. I just like the chords, the way it sounds. That's why I love synthwave. Right, you kid. Again, what does the future hold? Because you had the genre, it came out originally, and then it died down, and now you've got people making again that not everybody was around in the 80s. Not everybody made this sort of music in the 80s. That is making it now. So I definitely think it'll always be around. So you look at the likes of trance. Trance has always been around really since the mid 90s. It's always been there. It's, maybe got popular towards the end of the 90s, but it's getting popular again now. And this synthwave is something that will continue to do this because it's such a wide genre of music. Under synthwave, you've got so many different genres that you can make. So I definitely think it'll be around for a long time. So what made you think to yourself, I want to start making synthwave? Well, I made music since I was, for about 15 years now. And then when I discovered synthwave, the first thing I wanted to do is how did I do this? How did I make these sounds? What chords did I use? What did I use? And that's how I got into synthwave. And then just made it from there. So what is your favourite plugin? So again, it will be Sylinth. Is there any certain way to make a sound for the 80s, for example, a Square? Well, I will. I'm currently got a series running. If you want to go back on that, you can have a look. I'm going to be doing some more videos with leads and stuff like that give it the sort of the 80s sort of feel as well. If you look, stay tuned for those. They're called, what are they called? Synthwave sounds. So if you listen out for those, I will be making some more in the future. So how do you market and brand your channel outside of YouTube? Well, I've been very lucky to I do a lot of ghost producing as well, so I don't really have to worry about anything with regards to marketing my own stuff, because the stuff that I release, it gets released through a label that I'm on very good terms with. I do a lot of stuff for the label, a great relationship with that label, so I'm very, very lucky to get that stuff released through that label. With regards to dance music, so I don't really have to. I don't worry about it too much. I know a lot of people use Facebook ads and pay for likes and stuff. I don't really see the point in doing stuff like that. I'll just let it organically grow. It's not growing as fast as what I want. The synthwave stuff, since I started doing synthwave, it's growing a lot faster than the actual normal dance music, to be honest. Yeah, I was definitely. So you want a name, you want a Facebook page, you want somewhere to interact with your fans. So whether you use Twitter, whether you use Facebook, whatever, get your brand, get a logo, and get some sounds out. Release some stuff. Get some on Bandcamp, somewhere where people can support you, even if you want to release it for free. Interact. That's what I do with synthwave. Interact. Go on Facebook, find groups, interact, give feedback, ask for feedback. You can never stop learning stuff. That's one way to help grow you. As a brand, really. Albums, again, sometimes I don't have a theme. I never have themes for albums. I have themes for tracks, and I always like to keep an album, especially with synthwave, a lot of different sort of sounds in there. I don't like one theme, like one dark theme or one anything like that. I would always like to split it up and have good songs and happy songs and whatnot. What artist of the 80s inspired the most? John Carpenter. I like John Carpenter. With regards to stuff like the Halloween theme and stuff like that. I know that's late 70s. 80s. He's not. He's a lot of people. It's not a lot. Well, Michael Jackson is one big one, but obviously he's not just 80s. He's 70s as well. Michael Jackson would be absolutely massive as well. I think he's produces everything he touches is absolutely fantastic. So, what is your process from an idea to a finished track? Not only for synthwave, but in general. Well, again, you get your idea down and then you build it from there. So once you've got your idea down, just keep padding it out. Get an 8-bar loop, get your sounds and stuff in, get everything in, your beats, your drums, all your sounds, and then expand out from there. If you watch the video on, I can't remember, like a writing video or a transition video or something, I can't remember what it was. One of the structure, that's it. It'll certainly tell you about how I go about my structure in my tracks. Best place to send your synthwave music? I would. Well, there's a load out there, isn't there? There's new future retro. There's new future city. There's loads really. Whether or not they're going to sign them or not is one thing. I would just go with the forums. I would stick stuff on forums. There's plenty of forums out there that you can listen to music. Send it to me. Just get it out there and let people listen to it. It might not be. It might not be signed up every time. Not every single synthwave artist gets signed up. So I'll certainly do that. I'll certainly get it out there on forums and whatnot and let people listen to it, or even on Facebook group pages. Okay, looks like we've got a bit of an essay here. Okay, give me production tips for unknown synthwave artists to get noticed. Your music will get noticed. If you make good music, it'll get noticed. Get a SoundCloud page going. Get your stuff uploaded regularly and let it organically grow. Don't force it on top of people. Let it organically grow. Share it on synthwave is a different genre to other genres out there. EDM and stuff like that, you have to force your music down people's throats. There's so many people making EDM. You have to literally force it down. You have to buy likes. You have to promote it and everything. Synthwave, you don't. If people like your synthwave, they'll tell you they like it. So work full time, I have a wife and 4 kids to support. Doesn't have Starlink. I also recently bought a keyboard. Well, there is free sounds you can get out. There is free synths you can get out there, but I would, if you're going to purchase anything, I would definitely purchase Sylinth. That will help massively. It's a fantastic synth, and it's my go-to synth all the time, and loads of people use Sylinth. If you can't really afford Sylinth, there is other synths that you can pick up. FL Studio has some synths built in. I don't really like those, to be honest. I would maybe look at some other synths. Synth 1 you can pick up for free. Zebra I think is also free now as well. So free alternatives to Sylinth, like I said, Zebra, Synth 1, even some of the FL Studio ones you could maybe use, but If you look at know about sound design and stuff on the FL Studio one, there's a guy called Seamless. His name's Seamless R, but the R's silent. So if you type Seamless R into YouTube, he's very, very good when it comes to making stuff on FL Studio's built-in synthesizers. He's absolutely fantastic, so I recommend searching him out. I'll actually leave a link in his description to his page, so go over and check him out. A lot of the stuff he does for dubstep and stuff like that, but don't worry about it. Just what you want to do is you want to watch what he's doing, and he talks through like what's he adding in and stuff like that. Once you learn how to use a synth, you can then start to you can look at some of my videos and how I make what sort of sounds I make or how I use the sounds, and then because a lot of the synths are very, very similar. The parameters will be in different places, but you can sort of cross them over doing it that way. But I will be doing some more of them synthwave sound videos on free synths, so likes of Synth One and stuff like that. I will be doing some on there, so you can grab those, grab the free stuff that I do as well. I'm sure that'll help you out as well. So what synthwave producers are you listening to? Again, I listen to lots. I follow the top tens. Quite a lot of top tens that I'll follow on SoundCloud. I'll just listen to tracks on there. But again, my favourite would be Miami Nights 84. Listen to every type, even from well-known artists to unknown artists. Because you've got to remember as well that synthwave music in the 80s wasn't mastered properly. So because it's not mastered properly, people are making music now can get away with tracks not being properly mastered as well. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly talk you through some of the stuff that I've worked on outside of, some of the stuff that I work on in synthwave and some of the stuff outside of synthwave. So first of all, obviously, my producer box page where I mix banks and stuff for synthwave. So you've probably all seen that. You certainly go and check that out. My SoundCloud page, which I've showed you last, I put a lot of the music and stuff up. Some remixes and bootlegs like Johnny Cash and Darren Styles and whatnot. And then my Bandcamp page. I have 3 albums released so far: Better Ways to Die, Heroes, and Streets of LA. So you can certainly go and check those out. So if there's anything that you like on there, that and you can't afford it, just let me know. Send me a Twitter, a tweet, or Facebook private message, anything like that, and I'll send you any of the stuff that you want. Again, if you want to support me, there is a discount. You get 25% off if you buy all 3 albums together. But like I said, I know not everybody can afford to buy music. So if there's any you like that you want, certainly let me know, and I'll see if I can get you some free codes and stuff. Because I think I can give free codes away because I've sold so much on here. So certainly do that. So outside of synthwave, I make different genres. One of my names under is Steve Ingham. I use quite a lot of names. So Craft Miners, that's another one of mine. It's kind of hands up stuff. So I can quickly give you a blast of some of these. Yes, I have a lot of stuff on Beatport. Steve Ingham, you can search that. I do a lot of remixes as well on the different genres. Some that I can say, some that I can't. So I'm on Beatport. I'm on Spotify. One of the songs that I worked on as well. One of my favourite songs that I've worked on would be this one, Urban Myth, Africa. This is me. This is a cover of Africa by Toto. So that was signed to AATW, which is all around the world. So if you're in the UK and you've ever heard of the Clubland CDs, that was signed to that. That's one of my favourite songs that I've made. So that's some of the other stuff out there. You can certainly check some out if you want. Again, it's not synthwave, but it's other genres of music as well. So that's about it, really. I can tell you a little bit about the equipment that I use. So I have a MacBook Pro, which is partitioned. So Mac on one side, and then obviously Windows 10, or whatever it is now, on another. Microphone is just some crappy microphone that I bought off eBay. Absolute piece of crap. The speakers that I use at the moment are called a Citronics ST series. They're actually quite old now and need replacing. I have a separate sound card, which is a Babyface. So I'll certainly stick a picture of that up. Headphones, I use, 3 different types of headphones. I have some Samsung, like, in-ear headphones that you know, like little crappy ones. I have some Sennheiser's HD 215 is what I use quite a lot. And they're my favourite ones. And I also have some Sennheiser HD 650. Now, I've only had them a couple of months, so I'm not really used to them yet. So I'm constantly going back and forth between them and my old headphones as well. So that's about it, really, for a quick... I also have a MIDI keyboard. What is this? An M-Audio Keystation Mini 32. I also have one of those. That's about it, really, for equipment. I don't really have any hardware or anything like that. So that's about it, really. That's all the questions that have popped up. So I've answered all those. If you've got any more, you can certainly leave them in other videos. Or I don't really use Twitter much, but I know a lot of people do. So the good thing about Twitter is I don't use Twitter, but I'm on it. So as soon as if you want to tweet me, I'll get it straight away, and I'll probably reply straight away as well. Because, like I said, my friends and stuff use Facebook, so Twitter's just there really just for me to, I don't know, snoop on celebrities. And again, so if any of you lot want to send me a tweet, I'll certainly get back to you straight away through Twitter. I'll stick the link, my Twitter stuff, in the link below. Right, so on to competition. That's probably what most of you are here for. So what I'm actually going to do, I did say that any questions that I would answer, I'd answer, and I had quite a big response. It's quite a lot of questions come through. So what I'm actually going to do, so you need to be very quick with this one. Did I miss this one out? No. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to leave a link in the description to this. So this is the Ultimate Synthwave Sample Pack. There's a little video preview. So what you've actually got in here, you've got loads and loads of things. So you've got drums, you've got claps, congos, syllables, hi-hats, kicks, rides, snares, gated snares, tambourines, everything, weird sounds, toms. I've also got the FL Studio full project to Total Recall. I've FX in there for you as well, so cassette noises, continuous static noises, risers, everything like that. I've got some MIDIs. I've also got a free sound bank for the OBXD as well, and then some special sounds in there as well. So any of these sounds you're hearing here, I've also mixed them down to waves and stuck them in there for you as well. So there's over 750 sounds in here. What I'm actually going to do for 2 days, so for 48 hours from when this video goes live, I'm going to leave a link in the description that will allow you to go on Dropbox and download it for free. So anybody can get it. So anyone that's asked a question can grab it. Anyone that's not asked a question or couldn't think of a question can certainly grab it. So I do appreciate all the support and stuff that I've been receiving. Like I said, I had 400 followers since 2011, and it's just rocketed up. I've had 500-600 followers in a couple of months, which is fantastic. So I will continue to make these videos. I will continue to show you what I'm doing and how I go about making stuff. And as a way of thanking everyone for subscribing and dropping by and commenting on, not even commenting, even just dropping by and watching a video. Hopefully you take something away from it. But like I said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually leave the Ultimate Sample Pack free for you to grab hold of. Totally free. Anyone can grab it. I'll leave it up for 2 days. And then after 2 days, I'll have to take it back down again, because obviously the choose box will crack up, and I'm giving it away for free. But I will leave it up for 2 days. So I'll leave it in the link below, so you can go down now and grab it. You can download it from Dropbox. And that's it, really. That's about it. So Guys, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for interacting with me. And, I'm constantly, even yesterday, one guy gave me feedback about the volume of the mic. So hopefully this is going to be a lot louder for you. Adding more in. Someone also asked to add more stuff in the description. So I'll certainly be doing that from now on. So again, guys, keep dropping your suggestions. Anything you're struggling with, you can leave it in the comments. You can find me a tweet over. And I'll certainly look at making videos. Like most of these videos have been made because people have asked for them. So certainly, guys, leaving your videos, your comments and stuff below, and I'll certainly get back to you. So again, thanks for dropping by, and make sure you grab that Ultimate Sample Pack before it's taken down.